I'm walking through a ghost town, y'all ain't playing my sounds. Don't tell me to calm down, don't tell me to calm down. Only time I go backwards is when I wanna moonwalk. Don't test me, my mood's wrong, don't test me, my mood's wrong. We are who we say that we are. Yeah, we're lost in the stars, and it's all from the start. Never running no pace, never on the right page, but we still read that book, and we still run that race. Ay, Mississippi Racer riding out, no shortcuts, no time for that. Mississippi Racer riding out till the wheels fall off, I'm driving that. Mississippi Racer riding out, we'll stop burning, strike the match. Mississippi Racer riding out, red light, green light, red light, good night. Ay, red light, green light, red light, good night. 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 Time to chill, don't sweat it.
What's up, everybody? It is Birds Deep week 3 is upon us, and week 2 is not a distant memory, but we hope it will be. And there is a lot to dissect from this past week, the preview, the grades, everything. I'm pretty sure everybody has varying opinions on here. But first, the introductions. I'm the Godfrey, THEEGODFREY. We got Cool over here. I never know which side he's on. He's on my right. Maybe he's on your left. And then we got Mean Gene over here. Gene, tell him who you are.
Mean! Woo! Gene.
Yeah, so, Gene, I know you had some opinions on it. I did. Obviously, this game did not end well. Cool, definitely. I know you have some opinions on it. We're going to do our grades. Shall we do our grades first and then get into the end of the game? What do you gentlemen think?
Whatever you want to do.
If you don't mind, I really kind of want to get this out there right now, because I feel like that this is one of the parts of the show that we need to get this out, get this digested, and get everyone's opinion, because there's been so many people that have had an opinion on this, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm getting it out now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
You think that the coaching staff on that last play was the issue with that game? I got some oceanfront property in Idaho I'd like to sell you. They called that play perfectly. Perfectly. I am not – look, Doctor, I've seen where originally you said you had no problem with the play call, and then the next day you said you had a problem with the play call, like now thinking back at it. You were right originally. Because I will take that play to win the game 100 times out of 100. ESPN Sports Index gave that a 96% success rate to him to catch the football and get the first down. He dropped the football. If we're going to say the reason the Eagles lost that game, look, there's a million reasons you can point to why they were in that spot. But most games you can go, hey, they lost the game. It wasn't because of one play. It wasn't because of one thing. It wasn't because of this, and that. This game, the reason they lost was one fucking thing. One.
Yeah,
he lost the game. He dropped the ball. That's it. He catches the ball during victory formation, the game's over.
If he executes, we're having a different conversation at this point. When I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, he's got to catch the ball. Obviously, that should be an elementary catch for Saquon. He's made it hundreds of times in his career. I would say this, though. I do have a problem with the coaching staff. One, this is a problem I have with NFL coaches in general. I have a problem now it's on the team that I support. There is too much of going for it early in the game, chasing points when you should take 3 points. It can't be ignored that the ripple effect of not taking that field goal became present in that exact moment, right? Because if you do kick that field goal, now you're up by 9 points, okay? And then you have complete control. Now, Saquon, again, should have made that play. And I feel like it's one of those plays where if it works, you're a genius. And if it doesn't, it's going to get questioned. Like Sean Payton doing the all-inside kick in the Super Bowl. Not the same type of game, but the coaches do that all the time. And they'll be like, oh, he's a genius. And then when he doesn't, they'll crunch him and be like, oh, he should have never been that aggressive. My thing is, and I'm not going off the ESPN stat. I'll have words about that later. I thought that was BS, but that's not why I was thinking that. My thing is I'm looking at it in a perspective where you have to lessen the odds. You know, the play before that, I believe they decided to pass, and they were trying to draw them off sides possibly, or look like they were in the neutral zone, daring them to run. And they ended up having to call timeout, if I'm not mistaken, before that pass, correct?
First of all, that's not what happened. Are you talking about in the first half or at the end?
No. I'm talking about the very end of the game.
Second down play.
Bro, let me tell you something right now. That where they rushed to the line of scrimmage was a design play in which was perfectly set up, and the left side of the line, they got everything they wanted. They jumped into the neutral zone. All Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson had to do was move.
They flinched.
They didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the Eagles' fault. That's execution.
That is execution.
Dallas Goedert pointed at the play. Sirianni was losing his mind. They got everything they wanted. They didn't call pass play. That was a designed get them to jump.
No, I know that wasn't a pass play. I'm that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's the players in that position. That's their fault. But you know, when I look at should they have run it, should they have passed it? You know, if they go up the middle, and even if they don't get the first down, you're still going to burn 40 seconds off the clock. They scored with 34 seconds. They scored with 34 seconds left. So minus 6 seconds, they had to have been farther away from the field. Their playbook changes. The whole dynamic changes. Even if you do 2 plays and you got to turn over on downs, you get a minimum of 40 seconds off the clock. And they're coming from the 3 yard line at that point. And worst case scenario, then he has to go 97
bro, you gotta
yards.
have your facts straight if you're gonna say this, bro, because everything you just said was inaccurate.
No, was it? There was 34 seconds on the clock when they scored that touchdown.
Okay,
1,000%. Bet my life on it.
So that's fair. That's the only thing that you said was correct.
Well, how much runs off the clock if you run it? If you run the ball, you don't get the
they
first
run
down.
the ball twice and they have a turnover on down. They don't. No, you said run the ball twice and they get a turnover on down. That's what you just said.
If they don't get the first down.
Correct. So you run the ball twice and they get a turnover downs. Guess what they need? They need a field goal, not a touchdown.
Yeah.
They run the ball once and they get a turnover and then they kick the field goal and they run 40 seconds off. That's fine. They weren't rushing down the field, Godfrey. They scored with 34 seconds left because they slowed down at the end because they got to the 5 yard line in 3 friggin' plays. Yeah. The Eagles defense playing prevent was the issue.
Well, that is the issue as well. That's another whole separate issue. But you still could have ran the clock down. You still could have ran the clock down. And yeah, that's if you don't go for it. But if you ran it on that point, right? If you ran it and then you're going for the field goal, doesn't time come off the clock? If you ran it on that third down?
Every player in the box. Every play. If you rewatched the replay of that play, they had every player in the box. They were literally stuffing the middle. Saquon Barkley masterfully got 3 yards to get to a 3rd and 3 to begin with.
Right.
Like masterfully got 3 yards. He shouldn't have. They had him touched in the backfield. They were ready for that play, Godfrey.
Yeah, but my point is, if you even if you run it and you don't get it, you still could kick the field goal fourth, and you're still taking time off the clock. And the time is the matter. I think you have a better chance of winning the game with that defense if you're taking that time off the clock.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. If Saquon Barkley catches that football, the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that play call, him dropping a ball that an 8-year-old could catch to win the game every week of the season.
Yeah, the play call is not the issue. It's the result of the play call if it could go bad and where the risk comes in. The clock stopping.
The only reason it can go bad is if he drops a wide open pass. Because the design of the play call is if he's not open, you fall down, you take 40 seconds off the clock, kick the field goal. He was wide open. Cool would have caught that. You would have caught that. I would have caught that. Anybody would have caught that pass. Saquon Barkley turned his head, took his eye off the ball, didn't concentrate the ball in, and that's the reason we lost the game. I love Saquon. Saquon's going to be a reason we win games. He's probably the reason we won week 1. It's okay to shit on Saquon Barkley. He's the reason we lost the freaking game. That's it.
Yeah. I don't think, and people shitting on him are crazy because I'm not shitting on him for one play in a 17-game season. You know
the game, they lost. They're 1-1 because of Saquon Barkley.
They are.
So I adamantly disagree with Gene. We're not 1-1 because of Saquon Barkley. We're 1-1 because our coach is an idiot. We should have took the 3 points at the beginning of the game. Beginning of the game, you don't go for it on 4th down. I don't give a crap what analytics say, what ESPN dorks that don't even never played football have to say. Let's be real. Looking at that play, take the points, get the lead.
Cool. I think at that point, the analytics said not to do it, if I'm not mistaken, actually.
I love that. I just want to.
That's funny. But my thing is, you have that play, right? The 3rd down play for me, it was either 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4. We say 3rd and 3. The line was stacked. Saquon, I feel like could at least get a yard with the line stacked. He gets a yard. We're in a 4th down and probably 2 situation. There's a play, whether they were prepared for it or not, that we were getting 3+ yards on every time we ran it, called the tush push or the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. So we had 2 downs to get 3 yards. I understand you run the ball, you cute, he's wide open, let's throw him the ball. But refresh my mind, what position does Saquon Barkley play?
Running back.
Right. So as a running back, I would prefer to have a guy that plays running back in that situation, run up the middle or run on the outside off tackle. Maybe you get a yard, maybe you get 2, maybe you get the 1st down. Maybe you get stopped and we're in 4th and 3. Tush push, we getting 3+ yards every time I saw it in this game. So 4th down, you wait till the last second, you go for the tush push. If we don't get it, we don't get it. It's on us. But I believe we could have gotten 3 yards in 2 plays if we ran the ball those 2 times.
You're talking about the field goal. You're talking about the field goal we didn't do specifically in the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about the end of the game.
And then the game too. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
The first one was simple. We didn't do it. It's stupid. We didn't do it.
I agree with you. They should have shook 3 in the first half. But like, come on, bro. You guys are both more intelligent than this.
I would say you're more intelligent than this, what you're spewing.
Well, hear me out. Hear me out here. You got like I can't. The fans' perspective of it would have been a 9-point game if they would have took a field goal in the first half. Like the entire game doesn't change based on the score. Like the game changed. You think Atlanta takes 3 if they're down 9 instead of 6?
Like they're in 4th down and long, yeah.
No, bro. The problem is,
but you take the 3 points. You don't chase points in the beginning.
I agree with that. They should have took the 3 points in the first half. But to say that they would have been up 9 at the end of the game, like nothing in the game would have changed if they took 3 there. I don't agree with that.
See, I look at it differently. If we kick that field goal, it changes their playbook, and they would have been trying to do other plays that were lower percentage because they're farther behind at that point. So I don't know if we were ahead by 9, but I do know that they're closer at that point, and their playbook selection is going to change.
We'd have been up by 3 more points.
Yeah, but you can't say that. If they take the 3 in the beginning of the game, the entire game is different.
Okay, I can't say we would have had 3 more points on the scoreboard, and you cannot dispute that. That's factual.
You're right, but I think Atlanta plays the game differently. You don't
maybe the game differently, maybe it's not. You can't 100% say it would be different.
Maybe they passed the ball more. Maybe they have to pass the ball more, which they were running the ball more effectively.
The bigger problem with this game, besides everything you're talking about, the last play, the bigger problem with this game is because whoever is calling plays, and it looks to be a mix, which I was sold a bag of false goods. I was told Nick Sirianni would be a cheerleader, and he would shut up and let the offense do the offense and the defense do the defense. This game had shades of Nick Sirianni all over it. Unless Kellen Moore calls games just like Nick Sirianni, this has shades of Nick Sirianni. I understand that we don't want to run the ball more than probably about 22 to 25 times with Saquon Barkley because we're scared he's going to get hurt. But that's why Will Shipley's there. That's why Does Not Gainwell is there. We should have ran the ball more without A.J. Brown. And that is the problem of the play caller. That's the OC. We should have ran the ball more, period. It should have been at least 5 to 7 carries for Not Gainwell, and Shipley should have got a couple of carries in this game. Atlanta's run defense is worse than ours, and we did not exploit it. They exploited ours.
37 carries versus 30 dropbacks.
I mean,
I'll take that 56 to 44 ratio every week.
I won't take it against an Atlanta team that's susceptible to the run. Because
that
I
call was
understand
Kellen
that
Moore's, I believe, for the call at the end of the game. And I think, Sirianni can overrule that if he wants. So he has partial blame in it too. Or if you're on the other side of it was a good call, Sirianni was letting him call the game. But I'm pretty sure that was Kellen Moore's call from what I understand.
There were other plays I saw that were shades of what we saw when we were terrible last year with Sirianni's playbook.
I actually think up until the last drive when Hurts forced that ball to Devontae Smith, he was perfect.
I thought Hurts played really well.
Yeah, that we could probably get into our grades with that one.
I wouldn't say perfect. I wouldn't say perfect, but
I said nearly perfect. I said nearly perfect.
Not even before that, I think there were some things that he missed that he should hit. So I wouldn't say he's perfect, but I would say that you put him in a situation where he either had to go to Goddard, who I think they were trying to do a good job of taking him away, understanding without A.J. Brown, the big target is Goddard. When he wants to go throw the ball up, that's where he's going to go to. Devontae Smith was able to be covered one-on-one.
Goddard is going to get the L.J. Smith Award this year. I think he's highly overrated in the Philadelphia Spare, and he's not that good of a tight end, to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing I've heard.
I don't see him coming up. Where is he at?
They're not throwing him the ball. You can't blame him for the ball not going to him. You can blame him if he's dropping the ball. If targets are coming, he's dropping them. You can blame him. You can't blame him when the ball's not being thrown to him.
He's got to get open too.
I agree with you, bro.
How is he supposed to get over it? Is he supposed to go punch Jalen Hurts and say, "Give me the ball, I'm gonna rape your fiance"? What is he supposed to do?
No, he's got to get open. I mean, not over, but I mean, there's this. I'm sorry, I see things on the field, and I don't feel like he's delivered what we've expected from him. That's all. I don't. So how come Grant Calcaterra could get a 20-yard pass
all those passes that we were throwing to Britton Covey?
Yeah, I'm not saying that either.
Who normally catches those passes? It's not his name. The guy that you're trying to act like is so bad. Is that not the same person who normally gets those?
Well, why wasn't he in there? Was he? Did I miss something? Was he hurt?
Because he's not the play caller.
Right.
He's not the person that decides when he's on the field or not.
So they all of a sudden just went to Britton Covey. Just to go to Britton Covey?
Hey, Covey was playing whose role in that game?
Devontae Smith's.
Because Devontae Smith was playing whose role?
A.J. Brown's.
Okay, right. That's why they were going to Covey, sir. That's why.
So I don't think they trusted Jahan Dotson in the offense.
That's a question I wanted to ask. Yeah.
But we can go in the grades, and I feel like that I should give a Jalen Hurts grade before and after the drop pass because he was giving me an A performance, not an A plus, but an A performance until the drop. And the shitty part is if the drop doesn't happen, we're talking about the Eagles being 2-0 and Jalen Hurts played an A game.
And also,
that's good.
Well, one other thing I forgot to bring up. Devontae Smith dropped the touchdown. He's got to make that catch. I understand the ball got poked, but you got to grab it and bring it into your body.
Very good defensive play. I wouldn't call that a drop. It's not listed as a drop.
The ball was in his hands, and then it left his hands. I'm going to call it a drop. If you want to list it differently.
I call it a pass breakup, but
if some guy, I call a pass breakup when the ball doesn't make it to you and the defender knocks the ball down.
I'll tell you right now, they got a very good secondary. Atlanta has a very good secondary.
They do, but you got to make that play.
Justin Simmons.
If you are the number one receiver for that night, you got to make that play.
I hear you. I think that he wishes he had that one back, but
I'm sure
in reality, the ball hit his hands, and before he even had a chance to pull that ball in, it was smacked out. So I don't think it. I don't know, man. I think good defenses can make good plays. And everyone before the season predicted Atlanta to win this division.
Well, I definitely did.
I mean, most people
did. Defense.
Atlanta's got a good defense.
They got one more tough game, and that's against
Kansas City this week.
After that, I have their defense because I'm looking at the players. I'm looking at the teams they play. I'm like, bro, after week 3, or it's either 3 or 4, these dudes got like the Panthers twice, the Giants. I'm looking at teams. I'm like, yeah,
they still got to play the Bucks and the Saints twice, and the Bucks and the Saints.
But that's the divisional game. There's the divisional game, so I feel like they're going to still get off. They may not win the game, but they're not going to give up a lot of points. So the defense is going to be good for fantasy purposes.
I got it. I'll give Jalen Hurts an A- because the only thing that he really did wrong to me in that game was that really terrible decision when they're trying to come back in a game that they'd already won. He had already thrown the game-winning pass. Saquon just dropped it. So I'll give him an A-.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an A- as well. I think overall he played a really, really good game. The one thing I really wish I don't know, I got to break down more of what that is, but Jesse Bates knew that pass was coming. I knew that pass was coming. The three defenders.
Legal contact. I'm not going to complain about officials, but Devontae Smith's trying to get through his route and he got pushed off his route. Now, Granted, being a 190-pound receiver, that's going to happen to you. You're going to get pushed off your route, and that's not going to get called in that situation. So I understand it's still a bad play call. But like if you watch it, he's definitely has the out to the route. Jesse Bates jumps it because Jalen Hurts got aggressive with it and got greedy with it. The play design was the Devontae Smith. They only needed 15 yards. I don't know why they were going for a home run there. I really don't.
Well, that's my thing. Like, why? Is that the coaching? Did he audible out of it? I don't think he did. That's the play they called. I don't understand. And I just feel like there been a couple more options they could have went to right there to keep marching toward the field goal.
Dallas Goedert play. I feel like that should be a Dallas Goedert play.
Hell yeah.
You want
to throw a jump ball, let Dallas.
Or Brenton Covey.
They were in prevent too. They gave him 5 to 10 yards. Take what they give you, run the ball. You got timeouts, take a timeout.
Dallas Goedert came wide open on that play.
Jalen's got to see him, but they got to do better to play calling because their defensive line ain't that great on Atlanta. Their secondary is outside of Grady Jarrett. There's not a whole. Their defensive line is not the fear.
Matthew Judon is not a bad player.
He's a good player, but you can manage him. If they don't have Grady Jarrett on that team, anybody can run on them. Judon helps it a little bit.
They don't have a good running defense, and we did not.
They don't have a great run defense, and the Eagles proved that. They ran for 6 yards per carry, 5 yards per carry during the game.
And they ran
the ball 37 times for 186 yards.
Yeah. He's an A- for me. Like I said, just it's that interception where I really had to take it down. I mean, other than that, I thought he had a really good game. Cool.
So I'm gonna give Jalen a B.
Okay.
Because I feel like there were times in the game where he could have made a play differently that he did not. I feel that he moved sometime because he felt pressure that wasn't there. He made some good throws on some of those. I feel like he should have ran the ball more. He did good when on the improvised runs. I don't like the called runs. I like the improvised runs. If everybody's covered, instead of hanging there and trying to get somebody to get open, especially when AJ Brown's not there, take off. Even if you only get 5 yards or whatever and get down. So I think in these situations where you don't have your guy, you have to spread the ball around more. Goddard has to get more plays. However, you need to make that happen. He's got to get more opportunities. You're going to have to get Calcaterra some opportunities because you're going to have to do some 2 tight end sets in certain situations because people are going to try to play the run. You're going to have to give Jahan Dotson opportunities. Give him simple route combinations and route concepts and let him go. Teach him 5 or 6 routes and say, hey, this is what you're going to run when you in the game. If that's what needs to happen. But with AJ Brown out and then may not be playing either because he left the game injured. Johnny Wilson. We may be down to Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Britton Covey as wide receivers. Hopefully, if that's the case, we're going to bring up somebody. I'd love to bring up Paris Campbell from the practice squad. But you've got to do a better job of distributing the ball to everyone. There were opportunities to get guys the ball that he did not make. So I'm going to say you make more of those plays. We're also not in that situation at the end of the game. So I'm going to give him a B, but I still think he played well. Just you have to be even better, especially when you're down weapons.
What about we're going to talk about this later in the show, but I just want to, since you brought it up, should the coaching staff had Jahan Dotson more prepared, or is that more on schedule? Like this is where he should be at because it was a limited time.
Bro, it's 100% on the coaching staff. I'm so sick of every other team making a trade and those guys contributing the first week they're there.
Right.
For Philadelphia, it seems like, oh no, they need 5 weeks to accustom themselves to a playbook. Get the hell out of here, man.
They got him involved, or unless it's Andy Reid, I don't want to hear 5 weeks. Like it's.
I just wanted to say, I understand Deshaun missed the preseason, but I'll take Deshaun not understanding where everybody is at over the dude they see the target over and over and over and over again when he's out there, and that's Avonte Maddox. That's my. Well,
let's jump into that defensive grade. Let's go to defense then, since we did Jalen, and I'm going to let you continue that point, Cole, since you were going off on Deshaun right there. Like, what's the grade you're giving the defense overall?
So Avonte Maddox, of course, I'm gonna get him a C. They were average. They got dogged on some plays. They made a couple of good adjustments at times. CJ got burnt for the touchdown. He did make the big play on 4th down as well, so that kind of cancels out. And it's kind of like the team for the game. Good plays, bad plays. Zach Bond, another really good game. Reed Blankenship, 9 tackles, right? So you had guys that played well. But on the other hand, you had guys like Slade. You get burned at the end of the game and you laughing and dapping people up. If I'm Darius Slade's team, I'm punching him in the face. I don't care if he's the OG on the team. If I see you laughing and all that after you gave up the last play, I'll take the fine. I'll take sit in the game or whatever. I'm going up to punch him right in the face. I'm like, you think that shit's funny, bitch? That's what I'm doing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he got burnt like a rookie. That was a rookie mistake by him at the end. He should have no business making a mistake like that. I'm sorry. He got caught. Am I wrong? You saw that, right? You got caught with his pants down,
bro.
And you can't do that as a veteran.
Receiver.
You can't do that as a veteran.
Not even average. Not even that good.
I give them a C-. You know, I'm going to read a quote from Fletcher Cox. I don't know if you guys heard about it. He said it on WIP. I went and looked at some things, and I texted a couple guys and said, y'all have to be better than this. He said this before the game. For a team to average, I think, 7.8 yards a carry, that's not Philadelphia defense. It's week 1, but it's unacceptable. Now, he said he texted some of them and said that. That's before week 2. Okay, that's Fletcher Cox saying that. Now, Brian Baldinger did a breakdown that was very excellent about Jalen Carter and the impact he can have. But here is the problem on the defensive line as I see it. And the scheme is different. So does it apply? It might not for what I'm talking about. But they'll double Jalen, and then Cox will come through and he had a pretty decent season last year. But who is that guy? Right now you got 3 in the front, and you know Jalen's playing. Jalen's not. He's going to be on the end, but you know I mean you can't be getting gashed like that on the run, man. And Bijan's a good runner, and that's a good offensive line in Atlanta. Don't get it twisted. You know I don't know if the scheme is still formulating, but you know they get a C- for me. You know with the Darren Mooney play to me was unacceptable. I mean he's a fast guy. I get it. He's got some ability, but there were some things where I'm like, what are we doing? Avonte Maddox seems like toast. You know, my question to you after Eugene and cool after you give your grade, Gene, is when Sidney Brown comes back, is that going to be a big boost to this D? Like how big of a boost?
It shouldn't be. I think CJ Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship are your starting safeties, whether Sidney Brown's here or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue is,
but you could put CJ in the slot, right?
Somebody got to go in the slot because we cannot leave.
Isaiah Rodgers should be on the outside. He comes back this week.
Right.
Yeah. That's
and Quinyon needs to go back to the nickel because he's a major upgrade over Avonte Maddox.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at, right? I think Isaiah Rodgers starts this week. I think you'll end up seeing Avonte Maddox again. I think you'll see him in the safety role this week where CJ Gardner-Johnson is playing. So I think you'll either see him or Cooper DeJean in that safety role versus the Saints. And I would rather see Cooper DeJean in that role. But, you know, just telling you how it is, I don't think that Sidney Brown is the upgrade you're looking for. I think Isaiah Rodgers is. They played the entire preseason waiting with Isaiah Rodgers on the outside and Quinyon in the nickel.
Yeah, Rodgers had the broken hand. So hopefully he'll be ready this week.
Yeah, they're saying he'll be ready this week, and they're going to need him because if CJ Gardner-Johnson's not playing, which, by the way, Gardner-Johnson made a hell of a play. And, like, listen, you gave the defense a C. I don't give them a C, man. They didn't stop the run, which is accurate. But if we're being honest, the game was over and they allowed 15 points. I'm going to keep ending the game where it should have ended.
What about a pass rush?
The pass rush was non-existent.
Right.
I give them a B-.
Bryce Huff was hugging dudes like a Pop Warner kid.
Yeah, you gotta punish that too because the pass rush is one of the things.
Right. I give them a B-. That's kind of where I'm at. But if they ended the game, let me ask you a question real quick, cool. And I think the worst part of that defense was the last drive, and it was by far worse.
Even if they
ended that game the way they should have ended that game, we're giving the Eagles defense a B+ and saying they need to be better at the pass rush.
I'm still giving them a C.
I would upgrade them if they ended it differently, Gene. I will say that. And that's because if they ended it differently, then they would have went the whole game without giving up a touchdown. Right? Am I correct in saying that? or did they give up one earlier? It was mostly field goals they were at, right?
What's
Pretty
the
sure
five?
Bijan Robinson got a touchdown.
Are you sure? No, he did not get a touchdown. I know he didn't get a touchdown unless it was a receiving thing.
I'll tell you in a minute.
I could
got
be
it.
wrong, but I got him on my fantasy team. I don't remember seeing no touchdowns.
Field goal. Yeah, all field goals. No, they got touchdowns.
Oh,
and they
field
get
When was the touchdown?
15-10. Darnell Mooney, 41-yard.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's
No,
the
that
one.
was
All right,
the
that's the one I'm forgetting. Okay, yeah, but if they, that's still good to hold them to 15, to hold them to those amount of points. I feel I would have upgraded them if they won the game. But the pass rush, listen, man, I don't want to hear about Bryce Huff getting used to the system and being a project. They paid him too much damn money for that. This is ridiculous, man. Like, I want more. Maybe it's a development problem. It's a talent problem. I want more out of Jordan Davis. I want more out of Nolan Smith. I don't give a F if it's year 2. Every experienced veteran I hear talking about Jordan Davis talks about how he's not coming up. Jalen Carter.
Let me ask you a question. What was Jordan Davis brought to this team to do?
Stuff the run.
Okay. Was he brought to the team to really be somebody that gets to the quarterback and sacks?
No.
So if you look at a lot of the runs, I'm not saying they never ran at him, but they get a good job of saying we're going to throw 2 people on Jordan Davis because that's the run blocker, and we're just going to run away from him.
Yeah, but
He did a great job of that.
they ran a little bit at him too, and I hear you on that.
Yeah,
but
they ran a little bit at him, but for the most part, they say we just take him out of the way. They're not getting the pass rush. The outside linebackers who are supposed to be, basically edge rushers, they're not rushing, so we don't have to worry about them. So we put 2 people on Davis, 2 people on Carter, Milton Williams. If we need to switch over somebody to him, shift over.
he got the sack on that. Milton got that sack.
1 sack in the whole game.
I'm just saying, let Milton get his roses now, man. He got a sack. My man got a sack. He's a 3rd-round pick. T-Rex arms showed up. No, I'm just. I mean, listen. I need more out of them. I understand Jordan Davis, but I still need more out of him. I mean,
what do you need out of him? What is it that you need?
I
You want to take 3 people and slam them back into the quarterback and get sacks?
They're not always double teaming him though. Cool, like he hasn't.
Most of the time. Not always, but most of the time.
In his career so far, has he lived up to expectations? You think?
What are your expectations?
Yes.
No.
What are your expectations?
I need to see him getting more penetration. I need to see more tackles. I need to see him not being as tired.
Penetration.
One of the knocks on him. One of the knocks on him was that he doesn't have stamina, and he's gonna have a problem in the pros. And I was like, bah humbug. I don't want to hear it. But I hear a lot of pros talking about that.
Do you feel like his problems this year are stamina related? Because I do not.
Everybody talks about him not being in shape like he should be. I keep hearing that over and over.
If you talk to his coaches, if you talk to all the players on the team, they talk about how they did gassers in between the middle of practice, all offseason, all preseason. So if you do all that and you're not in better shape, I mean, I don't see how that's possible. So I think
I want the kid to succeed.
You're doing it as well. We're buying into a narrative over 3 years for somebody for this year.
Well, it ain't just him. Listen, I need more from 3 first-round draft picks. I don't care if it's year 1, and it's not anymore. I need more. If it's the coaches, if it's the scheme, if it's the players, you need more from 3 first-round draft picks on the defensive line.
If nobody's performing, then who normally is it if nobody's performing? What's normally the issue if nobody's performing?
Coaching.
Thank you.
Players got to make plays too, though.
But you have to be put in a position to make plays.
But all right, we were saying it's scheme last year. Are we going to go through this whole year saying it's scheme again?
I don't think it's scheme yet.
I don't think it's scheme yet. Right now, it's just coaching. Because you change the scheme, that's cool. Now you have to put those guys in positions. You've got to get the right 2 guys on the outside. If you got to try Jalix Hunt, if Brandon Graham's got to play more, if Nolan Smith needs to maybe switch to the other side, maybe he's better strong on the other side. You have to do something as a coach with the players that you have to get some pass rush.
So
that's not on Jordan Davis. That's not on Jalen Carter. That's not on Milton Williams, even though the media and you were trying to put that on them. They're not.
I think it's fair to ask that question on that. When you invest that kind of capital, you need a bit of return.
And not getting the support they're supposed to on what they're supposed to be doing. Give them the freaking support they need, and then let's see what they do.
I'm not seeing it, man. I'm not seeing it from them.
I want it. Open your eyes.
But they're not doing it. They're not busting plays up. Dude, they paid a guy and he's hugging people. It can't all be on Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff is one of the guys that's supposed to be getting pressure that's not.
Right. But
So don't talk to me
what
about
is
Bryce
Jalen
Huff
not
doing
to is Jalen
Jordan
Carter not
Davis
supposed to
and
get
Jalen
pressure?
Carter. Talk to me about what Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are not doing in a 3-man front when you got five offensive linemen in front of you.
That's a question I want to ask.
And no threat from the outside to rush because they suck right now.
They were in a 4-man front in Georgia, right, Gene?
Georgia runs a hold on.
In that champion, I swear I could be wrong. You're more of a Georgia guy than I am, so
They run a 3-4. I knew they were on a 3-4. Nolan Smith
Okay.
was an outside linebacker. I just double checked.
Okay,
They run a 3-4.
So they should fit.
3-4 too.
Yeah, no, they should fit. They should be fine.
Oh, man.
We'll see, man.
So we're not going to point out the fact that Carter's first year, Davis's first 2 years, they had to switch to a 4-3 and play different everything. Now they're going back to a 3-4. We're just going to act like they've been playing a 3-4 the whole time.
There's some adjustment there for sure. But
the pass rushers have to get pressure. They're not getting pressure. They get pressure, Carter can get through. They get pressure, Davis can play better. You don't have to respect the edge rushers because they're not doing anything. So all you got to focus on is 5 people, sometimes 6, to focus on 3 linemen.
Bad comparison because we don't have a guy like this. But all I know is Ray Lewis threatened to retire unless they drafted him a good D tackle after Saragusa. Straight up. And they got Nada. And Nada swallowed it up, and he comes flying through the middle all the time. We wreaked havoc because of that D tackle, right? So
that's the kind of player that he is. You're asking somebody who is a run blocker. We knew that when we drafted him. His main thing was going to be run.
Just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Who do you think had the worst PFF grade on the defensive line?
God, I'm going to say Bryce Huff.
That's your thing. I don't give a crap about PFF grades. So I don't
Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff.
It was Bryce Huff. The best grade on the defensive line was Brandon Graham. The worst grade was Bryce Huff. Jalen Carter had the worst grade of the interior defenders. Jordan Davis had the best grade of the interior defenders. Jalen Carter had his run defense was graded out of 33.6. His pass rush was graded out of 68.2. He could get after the quarterback, but he couldn't stop the run. Jordan Davis was pretty solid on both ends. Milton Williams had a 73 pass rush grade, which is very good. As a whole, the Eagles, you can't have Bryce Huff have it score 38. You just can't have it.
And Bryce Huff is completely on Howie. Completely on Howie. Like,
I mean, I'm going to take more than 2 games before I say he's on Howie or not. But
and I mean, he's also got to be coached up.
Are we? He's got to be coached up? Really? The dude just got a big ass contract. Did they see him hugging dudes like that?
You get a contract and you turn into a better player because you get more money.
They shouldn't have got that money in the first place. Then
but that's not on him. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
If the Carolina,
it's not the player's fault. It's the GM's fault.
To be our right guard right now, I'm going to take the $10 million. Do I think I deserve it? No, but I'm going to.
But I'm not talking about it being Bryce Huff's fault. I'm talking about them valuing him in the way they did. It's a fair question.
They have to have the pass rush.
Right. I understand that.
I don't understand what we're talking about right now.
But when I see him
you're not
actually performing, why did he get the worst grade on the line?
You just overrate. You're just like literally doing this. You know what the funny thing is? When we first started this podcast, Godfrey, you know what the first thing you said to me was, I'm not going to be one of these blowhards on the radio that overvalues one player 1 week. And that's exactly what you're doing, bro. You're doing exactly that.
No, I'm going on the defensive line by line. The only person I haven't really had a problem with is BG, and you're going to have his old ass out there taking all those snaps. How's that going to work later in the season? They got to fix it.
I get what you're saying, but we're 2 games into the season. And, you know, the part that bothers me the most is we're sitting here talking about 2-0 going into Saints if Saquon Barkley catches the ball. And instead of –
I'm with Cole on that, though. If we're 2-0 –
like this team stinks.
I'm with Cole on that, though. If we were 2-0, I still would have been questioning parts of the defense. You have
to. You can question parts of the defense. But, like, let's not act like this team stinks because they play 2 teams that are predicted to win the division.
Yeah, I'm not saying they stink. I'm in Philadelphia, and we have high expectations here.
Yeah,
we're not the Panthers. We just don't make the playoffs.
And you overreact.
The Panthers don't even make the playoffs. The Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I'm the same.
If they win 3 games, they'll be doing better.
Yeah, that would be the Super Bowl for them if they made the playoffs.
No, they can't make the playoffs.
No, they're not gonna. But they would celebrate like it was a Super Bowl. All 10 of their fans.
They wouldn't make it. There's no
We're
way
getting
they
into
would.
the offensive play call grade. It's 640, guys. We got to move.
Yeah. So wait,
We gave
Kellen
Jalen
Moore.
Hurts. Kellen Moore, we have to give a grade.
C minus.
B plus.
I'm at a B. I'm at a B. They just, C minus, C
They
minus.
ran the ball 37 times at 5 yards a carry. They moved the ball consistently down the field. Their time of possession was low because their defense didn't get off the field because they couldn't stop the run. They scored on, what was it? And the biggest problem I had with the offensive play calling is going for it on fourth down in the first half. That's my biggest issue with it. And it had nothing to do with the play calling. I think going for it is Sirianni. I don't think that's Kellen Moore. I really believe that Kellen Moore calls the play when the head coach decides what he wants to do. But if we're being completely honest, the first drive they punted, the second drive they were in field goal range, and they should have scored. The third drive they punted, and after that it was touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, and that field goal was the one that could have ended the game. They didn't have they literally scored on their last 4 drives outside the interception at the end of the game. I don't think that's play calling. I don't.
Okay, I do. But we'll move on.
I think play calling needs to.
Hold on. If you think it's play calling, do you not think that scoring points on 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the turnover on downs should have been 5 straight possessions? You think that's play calling? That's 5 straight possessions. They would have.
How many possessions did we have in the game, though, G? How many possessions did we have in the game?
8.
So we had 3 possessions where we didn't get shit out of it.
Well, 4 because they didn't of the turnover and downs.
Yeah. So my point is, we ran a lot, but let's not act like there were times where we should have run that we did not run. There were times when we should have played the runs that we did better. Because here's the thing, and here's the problem I have when we quote the stats about the running game. I would like to remove Jalen Hurts' stats from the run when we're talking run. You know why I would like to remove them? Because just like in this game, he got 2 huge runs off of broken plays. That was not a called play by the idiotic Nick Sirianni, because that's why I think essentially still ear is in the running game. The timing of which a lot of these plays were called were bad for me. The amount of runs that the running backs had was bad for me.
24 runs for the running back.
That's not enough in that game against a inferior defensive line that can't stop the run.
You want game 1 to get
runs is not enough.
Yeah. They're gonna get it. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It is early. It is week 2. But that one stings because we gift wrapped it. The Eagles gift wrapped it.
I knew immediately when Saquon Barkley dropped that ball what was going to happen.
I wish I thought that because I would have threw it on the live bet the other way. But
I knew immediately. I texted Bill and Charlie. We were watching the game. I said the Eagles aren't supposed to cover this game.
So
sorry, that sounds weird, but
no.
If the Eagles win that game by 3,
they cover.
Vegas wins a lot of money. That's what's supposed to happen. As soon as they kicked the field goal, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Since we're talking about Sirianni, by the way, how do you guys feel about him saying it's a player-led team, and he not speaking to the team afterwards?
Here's the problem, and here's the biggest issue that we're going to run into. It's when the Eagles do something well, it's the players. It's Kellen Moore, it's Vic Fangio. When the Eagles do something poorly, it's Nick Sirianni. I don't like him either, guys, but it's unfair to criticize the guy if we're not going to give him credit for other stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of there on that. I don't know if they deserve to be a player-led team right now after being, here's the thing. We are overreacting. It's week 2, but we're not overreacting. They're 2-7 in their last 9.
Overreacting.
2-7 in their last 9.
Yeah, but we can't. That's gaslighting. When we're taking a bunch of games when we had a horrible skid at the end of the year last year, we got new coordinators and new players, and we're trying to bunch everything together. To me, that's just gaslighting.
I wouldn't say it's gaslighting because if it was a different issue, then it would be. But it's a similar issue.
We're 1-1 this season.
People are reacting to the game collapsing at the end.
Let me try to give you a different perspective, Godfrey. Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think A.J. Brown up until Friday, do you think the game plan was on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Do you think A.J. Brown was heavily involved in the game plan?
I'm not sure about that, but I would guess
Come on,
yes, because
bro.
it depends on when they knew it. But I would guess yes.
He got hurt Friday at the end of practice.
Right.
Hamstring. Yeah.
So do you not think the game plan was for AJ Brown to touch the ball and be a part of the game plan?
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I mean,
so
he's their number one
how
receiver.
many practices do the Philadelphia Eagles have after Friday?
I believe
They have a
one.
walkthrough on Saturday. That's it. It's
Yeah.
not a practice.
So they're not going to. So I mean, there's not a lot they can implement. But
So what I'm asking you is this: when a player gets hurt on Friday and he's a key player on the team and he gets hurt on Friday, I think the Philadelphia Eagles did a great job of outplaying an Atlanta Falcons team without their best offensive player, and they should have won the football game. They should have won the football game.
They should
But
have
we're
won.
overreacting, guys. We're overreacting. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to go into New Orleans and kick the shit out of them. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, well, they put it together. You watch. Everybody's overhyping the New Orleans Saints. Philadelphia is going to go into New Orleans and kick their ass. They have a whole week of preparation with Jahan Dotson and Devontae Smith. They're going to win this game 31-17. It's not even going to be that close.
And they
It's
should have
not
moved.
even gonna
they
be that
should have moved,
I would love for that to happen.
Devontae Smith around, even though he was technically playing number one, they still should have moved him around and got him some better matchups at times too.
I agree with you. But I think that it's tough to implement him in the number one role and put him in the X role when he's been practicing all week in the Z.
Right.
It's just a different setup.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
They
my
should have
thing
moved
is,
him around.
yeah.
You're right.
You could have put Dotson out there. I mean, and let their number one corner cover Dotson, who ain't gonna really do much.
You're right.
Mm.
You're absolutely right. I agree with you. I think they could have did things differently, but I felt like they did enough to win the football game. And the guy they played $13 million a year this offseason dropped the ball. Dropped the ball that you would catch, cool. Dropped the ball that Godfrey would catch. Dropped the
We
ball
would
that I
we
would
would
catch.
catch it, but we would all still be in the backfield running to that ball because he's a lot
We
faster.
probably still would have got the first.
Yeah.
That ball, he couldn't have walked.
We would have
it out
needed a
there.
damn taxi ride there.
You couldn't have placed it in his hands any better.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, let's get into next week's game and encounter Freak Green after that.
Yep.
You know, the Saints, you know, they've been playing some good ball. I know
Great
people are
ball.
hyping them up, but you know, I do think there's some science behind what they're doing, and I do think that with the run zone scheme is and Scott, I'm sorry, Mr. Kubiak, because I'm getting his name wrong, Gary's son, Gary Kubiak. He's had success in other places, and I'm not surprised. I've been watching them trying to implement that offense this whole offseason. I was high on a couple guys, Kamara and, you know, Kendre Miller, if he didn't get buried by the coach on the IR, but, you know, he doesn't like him. But that's a whole nother story. This isn't a Saints show. So I don't think they're pushovers. I don't think they're just getting lucky. I really don't. And the Eagles, I don't. What's the spread at right now, Gene?
2.5. Eagles are 2.5-point dogs. They opened a 3.5-point favorite before Sunday in the look ahead line. They were a 1-point favorite going into Monday Night Football. They're now a 2.5-point dog. I think it'll go up to 3.5 by game time. And if it doesn't go up to 3, you know Vegas wants more and more money on the Saints, which is a great thing.
Now it's showing 3 at free scores and odds.
I love that.
So -3 Saints. So, what are the keys to the game to winning this game for the Eagles?
Keys to the game are to beat an inferior opponent. The Saints are not as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't care what you say. You can look at their line. Lucas Patrick starts at left guard for them. This is a guy that got ran out of Chicago. Cesar Ruiz starts at right guard for them. He is not a good guard. You can get pressure up the middle. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis have to eat. They do have a right tackle that they drafted in the first round, and their left tackle is hurt, and he's questionable to even play in the game. So, and he's also a rookie. So we can say whatever we want to say about the Saints. Their offensive line is not that good, and you can definitely get pressure on Derek Carr. And when you get pressure on Derek Carr, and he doesn't have the time to throw that deep ball to Rashid Shaheed, I think the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. I think they dominate. I think they get pressure up the middle, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles stop the run, and I think the Eagles dominate this football game. Dominate.
Okay.
I think the Eagles definitely win this game. The keys to me are very simple. We have to key in and focus on stopping the run and also the pass. We can't allow them to go out and bomb the ball like they did against the Cowboys and then turn around and run the ball. They run the ball almost 40 times. on top of that.
Well,
Right,
they
you
also are
can't-
getting 57-yard screen passes to the house, and
Right.
I mean,
basically what I'm saying is we can't allow the big plays, and then we can't turn around and allow them to run the ball over 40 times as well. That combination, you're going to get dogged whoever you're playing, right? If you're the team that's allowing that to happen. So Philadelphia's got to, I think, getting the guys back in the right positions is going to be very helpful. We get Quinyon back in the nickel. We get so then there's that familiar and that kinship that he has with Darius Slay because they practice pretty much all preseason together as the top two corners. That makes a difference, right? I think guys like Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham, if Huff and Sweat are not getting it done, put some other guys in. Period.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a person that's like, oh, you got to just because this guy gets the most money, he's got to play. If you're sucking, don't play. Play somebody who doesn't suck. And if you don't have anybody on the team that doesn't suck, get rid of somebody and go find somebody who doesn't suck. But at the end of the day, put your best team out there, play defense, control the game, be smart, stay in your gaps. If you're in zone, stay in your zones. Don't be over aggressive. Don't over pursue. Play in your zones. If you're on the line, watch what's happening. Davis is going to eat up a couple of people. So the other two guys have to watch. If it's a run play, you've got to figure out which way it's going and hit the gaps. Force them to have to go all the way outside, run bow out run plays, which is going to give other guys, because we have fast guys at linebacker and safety that can get over and help make plays. So that's what we're going to have to do to win this game. And Derek Carr, like Gene said, you got to hit him. You got to make him rush. You got to make him get happy feet. You can't let him sit back there like Buddy did last week and just bomb away when he wants to.
well, that's Cowboys got 3 total sacks. No, I'm sorry. They got 1 sack. They allowed 1 sack. Cowboys allowed 3. I mean, Cowboys don't have a bad pass rush. You would say it's a good pass rush, right? I mean, above average.
But what the Saints did,
They put them on skates. They hit them.
Give
They
him
hit them.
24 points. I wouldn't say it's good, but I mean, you could.
No, I wouldn't say it's good either, perception wise. And I'm not saying this is going to be the Eagles either.
I think the Cowboys have a great pass rush. What the Saints did was very schematically slowed down their pass rush by short dump offs to Alvin Kamara and quick plays. They have one big play action play to Rashid Shaheed. Other than that, it was quick strikes, short fields, and big plays. And it was
run
not
zone,
big plays.
the run zone scheme. 1 cut gone. 1 cut gone. The whole game. They put their ass on skates. And I do think they're good. I do think they're a good pass rush, Gene. But they made them look like not a good pass rush because they froze them, and I guess they weren't ready for it. So I was watching that game. I was like, "What?"
Typical Cowboys, though, bro. Typical Cowboys.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde. They play like shit, and everyone's overrating the Saints because of it. I'm telling you right now, the Eagles are going to go in there and whoop their ass, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, wow."
Everybody's slobbing on the Saints week 1, and they played the worst team in the NFL.
So, yeah, they did 100%. I mean,
And then
I will
died Cowboys team. That's all that they played. And now
Bro, the Cowboys are front runners. They've always been front runners. They don't come back. When you score 2 touchdowns in the first 2 drives and it's 14-3, you should have known the Saints were going to run.
I live betted it right down there. Bam! As soon as that, I hammered it. I hammered it.
100%. Arizona. Remember the Broncos game 2 years ago? It's the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
The Cowboys do this every year, and people are like, "Oh my god, the Saints are for real." I don't think they're for real. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think they're for real either. I just don't think they're as bad. And I think the Eagles,
but I don't see that happening.
I think the Eagles can beat them, and I think the Eagles can exploit that secondary. I really do. And
we're really walking in this game being like, man, the weapons, Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah.
This team doesn't have weapons. We just played a team with more weapons. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson are better than the weapons that New Orleans has. And I got news for you. Kirk Cousins probably a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
And Alvin Kamara is not going to come out and have like a 5,000-yard, 4-touchdown game again this season.
No.
Definitely not that.
It killed me on my hopefully not, because it killed me on my fantasy team. I had to face him. I was like, son of a. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Someone got to face
him. Those weeks happen, man, but they happen.
Yeah, so I think they could exploit them through the air. I think this is a very exploitable secondary, And I think you just
Well,
don't let him get up.
Lattimore and Tyrann Mathieu are both on the injury report. Lattimore has a hamstring injury. He's projected to play, but I don't care, bro. You ever play with a hamstring problem?
Nah, he ain't. Listen, he's
You're
nursing
nowhere
a
near
soft
100%.
tissue injury, nowhere near 100. Their backups are nobody. I mean, nobody.
And
We
then
got more
the next
depth at
one
the
goes-
secondary than they do.
You make one turn the wrong way and you're done for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes. So he's out there playing gingerly if he does play. They can exploit them through the secondary. I think the Eagles can win this game through the air and get up big. I do think they could beat them. There is a lot of hype train going on, a lot of overreaction.
Run
Yeah.
on them too.
They can run on them for sure. Yeah, but I mean, I think they get up big early. I think they go with the passing game. I could think absolutely can, even without AJ Brown. I think it's possible.
Run some, pass some, run some, pass some.
I would like to see DG get some more routes because I'm looking for him. And my fantasy teams please help me, Dallas. But anyway, he's on the bench.
If you pick Dallas Goedert to be your every week tight end, that's on you, knowing that he was going to be.
It's a dynasty team. I'm stuck with them, and I have to get other options. A lot different. You can't run away from bad players in dynasty as easily as you can in a regular league. But yeah, I think the Eagles win.
I dropped him.
I would. In dynasty, you can't. He's trade bait. Some people still believe in him. So 31. I think like 34-20. We could see this game. You know, that's where I'm going with the Eagles victory.
35-17.
I got 31-17 Eagles. What's your counterfeit green this week, Godfrey?
My counterfeit green is that BS stat that they put up about Saquon Barkley at the end of the game. I would like a full investigation by the Department of Justice or the FCC to see if that person who made that graphic was a Giants fan. I would bet my left nut on it that was a Giants fan because that was the most haterish stat I've ever seen. It was such cherry picking BS. And everybody started quoting that stat.
The running back.
Yeah, but look at how much he threw the ball. And when a running back throws you ball to the backfield, like a Daniel Jones or a Tommy Cutlets, like it ain't the most accurate ball sometimes. It's
also a total stat. The reason that stat was so irrelevant is because the only in the last 6 years, do you know the only running back that has seen more targets out of the backfield, even with all Saquon's injuries? Christian
McCaffrey. Right.
He had 293 receptions.
Right. And that's because the Giants were passing near the damn line of the scrimmage every damn game. Wendell Robinson's doing it right now for him. So when they did him dirty with that stat, that was the most dirtiest, overrated BS stat, and it's counterfeit green. Counterfeit to the max on that stat. They did my guy Saquon dirty, and he didn't deserve it.
I get you.
Cool. Anybody else?
My counterfeit green is to the fans of the Arlington football team. You get 44-19. You got the nerve, the audacity, unmitigated gall, the testicular fortitude to try to get on and clown somebody else. Go be the roaches you are and run into your crevices until you win a game in a couple of weeks. You guys are trash. You suck. You're Bush League. You always will be. And you won't win another championship until you're all dead.
My counterfeit green is anybody that doesn't think that one play can cost the team a game. Look, I'm sorry, guys. It's very simple. I'm not, because if he catches the ball, they're 2-0. And we're talking about like a totally different show this week. He catches the ball, they kneel the ball, victory formation. The Eagles defense allowed 15 points. They won the football game without AJ Brown, and what a game plan they put together to control the clock. Blah 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 blah. The whole thing is different. Drop the ball. Lost the game.
If they run the ball those two plays, the same thing happens. They can get 3 yards. I think
if they run the ball, they lose a yard, they kick a field goal, and the Atlanta Falcons still scores a touchdown the last play of the game.
See, I was looking forward to this part of the show because I knew Cole would be on the other side of this, and I knew Gene was, and I just kind of back and forth that week. But that's what makes it great, right? I love it. Different opinions here, you know, and we're not going to all just agree with each other. So that's how we do for sure.
I want to say this real quick. Saquon should have caught the ball though.
Yes, he definitely should have caught the ball.
But they should have ran it.
Yeah, he definitely should have caught the. He should definitely caught the ball. But listen, guys, that is all we got this week. Saints are coming up. We're gonna go marching in to New Orleans. and we're gonna see if they're pretenders. And we all feel pretty confidently that Eagles are gonna bounce back, and then we shall be moving on to week 4 next week. So, any other last statements, guys? No? Yes?
Go Birds. Calm down.
Calm
We're
down.
not
Go.
over. Season's not over. It's just 2 weeks in. Let's not try to say everybody sucks. 2 weeks in.
I still need Bryce Huff not to hug people, though. I was upset about that. It's very Pop Warners for them. But
if he was hugging you, would you feel better?
No, I don't want to hug from him. I mean, he would have sacked me, though. He wouldn't have hugged me. He would have ran me over.
Don't write the fucking book on a player 2 weeks into their season either.
I'm not right. I'm not. The book ain't closed, but he would have sacked me. Cool. There would have been no hug with me. Cool, because he would have sacked me. He would have caught me like eight years before that. So, but with that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening to us. And this is Cool, Gene, and D Godfrey. Not saying goodbye, just saying.